My parents threw a $300,000 anniversary celebration while I was waiting to hear if they'd pay for my $12,000 kidney surgery like they'd agreed. So they kept saying, "We're too busy planning," ignored my declining health, and when I found a donor through friends I removed them from my will and never spoke to them again. Welcome back, beautiful people. Before we begin, subscribe and tell us in the comments where you're tuning in from. We love seeing this community grow worldwide. I remember the exact moment my life changed. The fluorescent lights in Dr. Morrison's office buzzed overhead as she slid the test results across her desk. "Stage 4 kidney failure," she said, her voice gentle but firm. I was 32 years old, sitting in that cold examination room, and suddenly my body felt like a stranger. My hands trembled as I gripped the armrests. "How long do I have?" I whispered. "With dialysis we can manage it. But you'll need a transplant within 18 months, maybe sooner." She paused, her eyes searching mine. "Do you have family who can help with the costs?" I laughed bitterly. My parents, David and Caroline, lived in a mansion across town. My father owned 3 car dealerships. My mother wore diamonds to the grocery store. Money had never been their problem. "Yes," I told her. "I have family." That night I called home. Mom answered on the 3rd ring, her voice bright and sing-song. "Sweetheart. Perfect timing. Your father and I just got back from the country club. Mom, I need to talk to you about something serious." My voice cracked. "I got some bad news today at the doctor's." "Oh honey, hold that thought. Your father's calling me. Can we talk tomorrow? We're planning something special." The line went dead before I could respond. I sat there, phone in hand, staring at my reflection in the darkened window. Outside, the city lights blurred through my tears. That should have been my first warning. 3 days later I finally got them both on the phone. I'd rehearsed what to say 100 times, but the words still came out shaky. "I need a kidney transplant. The surgery costs $12,000. I have some savings, but I'm $6,000 short, and with all the medications and follow-ups." I took a breath. "I need help." There was a pause. Then Dad's voice, warm and reassuring. "Baby girl, of course we'll help you. You're our daughter. We'd do anything for you." Relief flooded through me. "Really? Dad, Let me talk to our accountant this week," he interrupted. "We need to move some things around, but don't worry about it. We've got you." Mom chimed in, her voice oddly distracted. "Absolutely, honey. Family comes first. Always has, always will. Now we hate to rush, but we're meeting with an event planner in 20 minutes. "Event planner?" I asked. "Oh, it's nothing important," Mom said quickly. "Just a little something we're working on. We'll call you back soon with details about the surgery money, okay?" I should have pressed harder. I should have asked questions. Instead, I thanked them profusely, crying with gratitude, telling them how scared I'd been. "I love you both so much," I whispered. "We love you too, sweetheart," Dad said. But he was already distracted, I could hear it in his voice. "We'll be in touch soon." Soon became a week. Then 2 weeks. Then a month. My health was deteriorating rapidly. Dr. Morrison started me on dialysis 3 times a week. Each session left me exhausted, nauseated, barely able to function. I'd drag myself home, collapse on the couch and sleep for hours. My boss at the marketing firm where I worked was understanding at first, but I could see the patients wearing thin. I called my parents every other day. Sometimes they answered, sometimes they didn't. When they did, it was always the same script. "Mom, have you talked to the accountant?" "Oh honey, we're so busy right now. We'll get to it, I promise." "Dad, I really need to know when." I said we'll handle it, didn't I? "Stop worrying so much. Stress isn't good for your condition." My younger brother Dominic called me one evening. "Hey sis, you doing okay? Mom said you're dealing with some health stuff." "Some health stuff?" I repeated, incredulous. "Dominic, I'm in kidney failure. I need a transplant." "Damn, really? That's serious." He paused. "Why didn't they tell me it was that bad?" "I don't know," I said quietly. "Have you seen them lately? They keep saying they're too busy to talk about my surgery." Dominic laughed uncomfortably. "Yeah, they're busy all right. They've been running around like crazy with this anniversary party planning. It's all Mom talks about." My blood ran cold. Anniversary party? Yeah, their 40th. Didn't they tell you? It's going to be huge. Like country club level huge. I showed up at my parents' house unannounced the next Saturday. The circular driveway was filled with unfamiliar cars. Through the windows I could see people moving around inside, carrying clipboards and fabric swatches. I rang the doorbell 3 times before Mom finally answered. Darling, what are you doing here? She looked flustered, her silk blouse slightly wrinkled. Behind her, I could see at least a dozen people clustered around the dining room table. Can I come in? Well, we're actually in the middle of a planning session. Mom. My voice was sharper than I'd intended. I've been trying to reach you and Dad for weeks about my surgery. I need to know what's happening. She waved her hand dismissively. I told you we're handling it. These things take time, honey. Medical billing is complicated. What's complicated? You said you'd help me with $12,000. I'm getting sicker every day. A woman appeared behind my mother, holding a large binder. Caroline, we need your input on the floral arrangements. The white roses or the champagne ones? My mother's face lit up. Oh, the champagne definitely. More elegant. He turned back to me. Sweetie, can we continue this conversation later? We're finalizing details for our anniversary celebration, and it's rather time-sensitive. Time-sensitive. I stared at her. Mom, I'm dying. Don't be dramatic, she said, but her eyes wouldn't meet mine. You're on dialysis. The doctor's managing it. Now please, I really need to get back to this. The door closed in my face. I stood there, trembling with rage and disbelief, listening to laughter and champagne glasses clinking inside. My sister-in-law Jennifer called me the following Tuesday. We'd always been friendly but never close. Her voice was hesitant when I answered. Hey, it's Jen. Do you have a minute? Sure, what's up? Look, I don't want to overstep, but Dominic told me about your kidney situation. She paused. I also know about your parents' anniversary party. What about it? They're spending $300,000. The words hit me like a physical blow. I actually had to sit down. What? $300,000. They've rented out the entire ballroom at the Grand Estates venue. Full catering for 500 guests, live band, ice sculptures, imported champagne. Jennifer Walters is designing custom gowns for your mom and sister. Dominic let it slip last night and I felt like you should know. My vision blurred. $300,000. I'm sorry, Jennifer whispered. I thought you knew. I thought maybe they'd already helped you with the surgery and this was separate money, but Dominic said they keep putting you off. After we hung up, I sat in my dark apartment for 3 hours. The dialysis machine beeped softly in the corner. My body ached. My mind raced. $300,000 for a party. $12,000 for my life. The math was simple. The message was clear. I wasn't a priority. I'd never been a priority. I drove to their house the next morning. This time I didn't ring the doorbell. I used my key and walked straight into my father's study. He was on the phone laughing about golf scores. He looked up, startled, as I closed the door behind me. I'll call you back, he said into the phone. What's wrong? You look terrible. $300,000, I said flatly. His face went pale. Who told you? That doesn't matter. You're spending $300,000 on a party while I'm begging for $12,000 to save my life. My voice was shaking now, years of being the dutiful daughter cracking wide open. You promised me. You looked me in the eye and promised you'd help. Now wait just a minute. No, Dad. You wait. I stepped closer. I've been on dialysis for 2 months. I'm vomiting every night. I can barely work. I'm losing weight, losing hair, losing hope. And you're buying ice sculptures. He stood up, his jaw tight. That anniversary money is different. It's been set aside for years. It's not liquid. It's in investments, in accounts your mother and I established specifically for this celebration. Liquidate them. It's not that simple. Yes, it is. I was shouting now, something I'd never done at my father. It's exactly that simple. I am your daughter and I am dying, and you are choosing a party over my life. My mother appeared in the doorway. What is all this screaming? I turned to her, tears streaming down my face. Choose. Right now. Me or the party. They looked at each other. In that look I saw everything I needed to know. You don't understand, Mom said, stepping into the room. Her voice had that familiar condescending tone I'd heard my entire life. This celebration is about our legacy. It's about showing everyone what we've built together. People are expecting. I don't care what people are expecting. I screamed. I'm your daughter. Dad sat back down heavily in his chair. You've always been so sensitive, always making everything about you. Your mother and I have worked hard for 40 years. We deserve this celebration. We've earned it. And I've earned nothing? I've done everything you ever asked. Perfect grades, perfect behavior, perfect daughter. I never asked you for anything until now. Until I literally need it to live. You're being manipulative, Mom said coldly. Using your illness to guilt us into canceling our plans. That's emotional blackmail. I felt something break inside me. Something fundamental and irreparable. Get out, I whispered. This is our house, Dad said. I meant get out of my life. I was calm now, eerily calm. I'm done. I will figure out my surgery myself. I will figure out everything myself like I always have. And when I'm gone, when I'm dead and buried, you can have your party and tell everyone what a wonderful life you've built. Don't be ridiculous, Mom said. You're not dying. Stop being so dramatic. Actually, I might be. And you know what? You won't even care enough to notice. I walked out. Behind me, I heard my father call my name once, but I didn't turn around. I drove home with tears blinding me, my hands gripping the steering wheel so hard they hurt. I posted my story on a medical fundraising website that night. I'd resisted it before, felt ashamed of asking strangers for help. But pride didn't matter anymore. Survival did. I wrote everything out. The kidney failure, the urgent need for transplant, my parents' betrayal. I hit publish at midnight and cried myself to sleep. When I woke up 6 hours later, my phone was exploding with notifications. The post had been shared 800 times. Donations were pouring in. But more than that, people were offering to get tested as potential donors. My best friend Kayla called sobbing. I'm getting tested today. I should have offered sooner. I just didn't think. Kayla, you don't have to. Shut up. I'm doing it. My coworker Devin showed up at my apartment with groceries. You need to eat better. I researched kidney-friendly foods. I'm cooking for you twice a week now. Don't argue. People I barely knew from my church reached out. My yoga instructor. The barista at my regular coffee shop. One woman I'd met once at a networking event sent $500 with a note. My sister had kidney failure. I know what this cost. Praying for you. Within 72 hours, my fundraising goal was met. Within a week, I had 14 potential donors being tested. Within 2 weeks, Kayla was confirmed as a match. I called my parents to tell them. My father answered. That's wonderful news, sweetheart. We told you it would work out. I hung up without responding. My younger sister Brittany was getting married 3 months after my surgery was scheduled. I'd been her maid of honor since we were kids, planning her dream wedding in our shared bedroom. But when she called to discuss dress fittings, something in me snapped. I can't be in your wedding, I said quietly. What? Why not? Because I'll be recovering from surgery. The transplant is scheduled 2 weeks before your wedding. Can't you reschedule it? Her tone was casual, like she was asking me to move a hair appointment. Reschedule my kidney transplant? Well, yeah. I mean, you've waited this long. What's a few more weeks? This is my wedding day and I've always pictured you standing next to me. I closed my eyes. Brittany, I have a donor. A donor who rearranged her life to match my surgical date. I can't ask her to wait because you want me in a bridesmaid dress. God, you're so selfish, she shouted. Everything has to be about you and your drama. You know Mom and Dad are already stressed about their anniversary party, and now you're ruining my wedding too. I'm not ruining anything. I'm trying to survive. Whatever. Don't come then. I'll get someone else. She hung up. Mom called an hour later. Do you have any idea how upset your sister is? Could you really not work around her wedding date? No, Mom. I really couldn't. Sorry, my dying is so inconvenient for everyone. That attitude right there is why people find you difficult, she said and ended the call. I blocked all their numbers that night. The morning of my transplant, Kayla held my hand in pre-op. You're going to be okay, she whispered. We're going to get through this together. Why are you doing this for me? I asked, my voice thick with medication. Because you're worth saving. And because someone needed to show you that. Devin was in the waiting room. So were 12 people from my church, 3 coworkers and my yoga instructor. Later, I'd see the photos they took. All of them holding signs with my name, praying together, supporting each other through the 8-hour surgery. My parents didn't call. Didn't text. Didn't show up. Dominic came though. He slipped into my recovery room the next day, looking sheepish and guilty. I'm sorry, he said. I should have stood up for you. I should have said something to them. It's not your job to parent our parents, I said, my voice hoarse from the breathing tube. Maybe not. But it was my job to be your brother and I failed. He pulled out an envelope. This is $10,000. I know the fundraiser covered the surgery, but you'll have expenses. Medications, follow-up appointments. Take it. Please. I cried. He cried. We held each other like we used to as kids before our parents taught us to compete instead of connect. They're sending out invitations to the anniversary party this week, he said quietly. 500 of them. Gold embossed. Your name isn't on it. They didn't include you. I wasn't surprised. But it still hurt. Recovery was brutal. My body rejected the kidney initially, requiring additional medications and 2 more hospital stays. Through it all, my chosen family surrounded me. Kayla stayed in my apartment for 6 weeks, helping me shower, managing my medications, holding my hair back when I vomited. I could never repay you, I told her one night. Good thing I'm not keeping score, she replied. 3 months post-surgery, I felt human again. My energy returned. My skin regained its color. I started working part-time, rebuilding my life piece by piece. And I made an appointment with my lawyer. I want to update my will, I told him. Remove my parents and sister as beneficiaries. Everything goes to Kayla, Devin, and a charity for kidney disease research. He didn't ask questions, just nodded. Done. I also drafted a letter. I spent weeks on it, writing and rewriting, making sure every word was precise. It wasn't angry or accusatory. It was just honest. A final accounting of their choices and my response. You chose a party over my life. You chose appearances over your daughter. You chose your pride over my survival. I want you to know that I survived anyway. Not because of you, but despite you. And I want you to know that I've chosen too. I've chosen the people who showed up. I've chosen the family that chose me back. You are no longer welcome in my life or my legacy. I mailed copies to each of them, Mom, Dad, and Brittany. Then I changed my phone number, moved to a new apartment, and disappeared from their world completely. I heard about the party from Jennifer. She and Dominic had attended. He'd felt obligated despite his guilt. She called me the next day, her voice tight with suppressed emotion. It was obscene, she said. Ice sculptures of their initials, a 12-piece orchestra, champagne fountains. Your mother wore a custom gown that probably cost more than most people's cars. They had a video montage of their life together. Let me guess, I said. I wasn't in it. There were 3 photos of you. 3. Out of hundreds. All from when you were under 10 years old. It was like you stopped existing after childhood. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. In their minds, I probably did. The perfect daughter they imagined never became the inconvenient reality I turned out to be. People were asking about you, Jennifer continued. Your dad gave some vague answer about you being busy with work. Your mom said you'd chosen not to come, like it was your decision. No mention of the kidney failure, the surgery, any of it. Of course not. That would make them look bad. Dominic is devastated. He said watching them celebrate while knowing what they did to you made him physically sick. We left after an hour. I felt a flash of love for my brother, the only member of my biological family who'd shown up when it mattered. Tell him I'm okay. Tell him I'm better than okay. Tell him I'm free. 2 years later, I'm standing in the community garden I helped establish for transplant survivors. Kayla's beside me as always, pruning tomato plants. The afternoon sun is warm on my face. My kidney function is perfect. My life is full. I run a support group now for people whose families abandoned them during medical crises. It's heartbreaking how many of us there are. But it's also beautiful watching us build new families from shared trauma, watching us choose each other over and over. Sometimes I wonder if my parents ever think about me, if they feel regret or guilt, if they even notice I'm gone. Then I remember their anniversary video, 3 photos in 40 years, and I know the answer. I was never really there to begin with. Dominic visits monthly. He left the family business, started his own company. I couldn't keep working for them after what they did to you, he explained. Every day felt like betraying you all over again. We're rebuilding our relationship slowly, carefully. He's earning back trust and I'm learning to let him. I got a letter last month. My mother's handwriting on the envelope. I stared at it for an hour before opening it. Inside was a short note. We heard you're doing well. Perhaps we could have dinner sometime and discuss things like adults. I burned it. Not in anger. I'm past anger. I burned it in ritual, in closure, in final acknowledgement that some relationships aren't meant to be repaired. They're meant to be released. Kayla found me standing over the ashes in my fireplace. You okay? Yeah, I said and meant it. I really am. She linked her arm through mine. Good. Because Devon's making that kidney-friendly lasagna you love, and if we're late he'll eat it all himself. We walked out together into the evening, into my chosen life, into the family I built from people who showed up. Behind me, the ashes of obligation and blood relations scattered and dissolved, making room for something better. Love isn't about biology. It's about presence. It's about showing up when showing up is hard. It's about choosing someone every day, especially on the days when they can't choose themselves. My parents taught me that lesson, just not the way they intended. And I'm grateful for it. Because in losing them I found people worth keeping. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your own experiences in the comments. Have you ever had to choose chosen family over biological family? How did you find the strength? Let's support each other in the comments below. And remember, you deserve people who choose you back.